Welcome back to International Star Media, the Gold Star Standard, at the Gold Star Standard. Reactions, reviews, and news you can use. Once again, I am your host, International Yada, for the records and the dollars. And check this out. They think it's a game, okay? They think it's a game. Y'all check this out. Arizona, trafficking / human trafficking. Arizona done brought the hammers out. Now check this out. Here we go. We're going to jump straight into this one. Recent law enforcement actions in Arizona, particularly in the Phoenix metropolitan area, have resulted in numerous arrests for trafficking and related crimes. Key operations in late 2025 and early 2026 have targeted traffickers and demand with a focus on rescuing victims. Check this out. Follow along with this one. Pay attention. Here we go. Recent arrests and operations from 2025 to 2026. I told y'all over and over, you can check all of the videos. They are not playing about this thing they call sex trafficking. If you are a sex trafficker or are thinking about becoming a trafficker, I suggest you find something legal to do, okay? Force, fraud, coercion, violence, and or the threats of violence used against another person for the purpose of prostitution. It's not looking good for you out here if that's what you're doing. Let's continue with this. January 2026, top of the year. Glendale, Phoenix. Dorian Murray was arrested on allegations of trafficking a young woman for 7 years, with charges including violent control over the victim, forcing her to earn up to $1,500 a night, and branding her. You see what they charged him with, right? Violent control over the victim, fear, force, fraud, coercion, or fear. Those are the 4 elements needed. And if you are found guilty of any of those in the trafficking case, they can give you up to life in prison. They said he forced her to earn up to $1,500 a night, and he branded her. Okay? Pay attention to this. Matter of fact, let's go straight to this story. Here we go.
This crime is textbook sex trafficking.
Dominique Rose-Sepowitz knows what that can look like. She's the director of the ASU Office of Sex Trafficking Intervention Research.
This happens in Arizona, in every city, every town, every single day.
This week, Dorian Murray was arrested by Glendale police.
A cash-only bond set in the amount of $250,000.
In court documents, Murray is accused of trafficking a young woman for 7 years across multiple states, requiring her to earn between $1,000 and $1,500 per night through prostitution. Police say Murray controlled the victim through violence, destroyed her social security card and other documents so she wouldn't leave, and even branded her.
So for her to ask for help, to come forward and tell law enforcement what's really happening after she's had hundreds of people seeing her in this situation and not offering help is really a testament to the strength of this victim.
One of the areas this woman was forced to work as a prostitute was the Blade, the area near 27th Avenue and Indian School Road in Phoenix, notorious for sex trafficking.
They seem to be monitored.
On Tuesday night, Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell was part of a forum on human trafficking at Grand Canyon University.
It's more than just prostitution problems. With that comes drugs, violence, etc. So we want to solve it as a community.
Rose-Sepowitz says talking about what human trafficking looks like with friends and family can help, and is glad to see, in this case, that it was the trafficker, not the person being trafficked, who was arrested.
9 out of 10 people who are arrested for prostitution in the city of Phoenix are identified as a victim of trafficking. So arresting that person, the only good part is it gets them out of that situation for a short period of time, but it doesn't always come along with those services that help them stay out of that situation.
And victims' advocates say the reality of sex trafficking is that these victims are often ordinary teenage girls who are groomed by a trafficker who start out acting like a boyfriend. Dorian Murray could face more than 30 years in prison if he's convicted. Tonight, we do not know the condition of his alleged victim.
You heard that right. He could face up to 30 years in prison. Okay? And in this case, I don't believe the victim was considered a minor in this case. And they still said he could be facing up to 30 years in prison. Force, fraud, coercion, violence, and or the threats of violence could get you up to 30 years in prison. It's not a joke. It's not a game. Take heed, learn from the mistakes of others. Okay? Let's continue with this. Now, here's another example in which the victim was a minor. Let's jump into this. Here we go. December 2025, Phoenix, The Blade. You know, they speaking on the track, The Blade. Dennis Mitchell Jr. was indicted on charges of child sex trafficking. 14-year-old victim aggravated assault and pandering after an arrest in the 27th Avenue and Indian School Road area, known for high trafficking activity. A teen victim was rescued during this operation. And this guy, Dennis Mitchell Jr., well, let's just play the video. Here we go, Dennis Mitchell Jr. Check it out.
This man accused of sex trafficking a 14-year-old girl in West Phoenix. Last month, 42-year-old Dennis Mitchell Jr. here was arrested by Glendale police at a motel near 27th Avenue and Indian School Road. This area is known as The Blade, and it's considered a hot spot for prostitution. Authorities say the teen victim called police after Mitchell reportedly hit her during a fight. She also told them that she'd been living with him in a room that was used for prostitution. During his arrest, prosecutors say they saved another girl who was also living with Mitchell. We'll have more on this story coming up later at 5.
And it's guys like this why these laws have been drastically changing. They said during that arrest where he was accused of trafficking a minor, that they found another teen with him. Okay? You make your bed, you lie. You deal with the consequences. And if it's the feds get involved with this, if it's any proof that he moved these minors across state lines, that would be, and found guilty, the charge would be life in prison without the possibility of parole for trafficking a minor. Think it's a game if you want to. Think it's a game if you want to. We keep bringing you these stories. Okay, let's continue. Here we go. Another example. October 2025, Phoenix, Casey Goslin, a youth group leader, was arrested for federal charges related to child sex trafficking and the production of child sexual abuse material. This creep right here, Casey Goslin. Leave those children alone, okay? Let's jump straight into that. Here we go, Casey Goslin. Check this weirdo out.
We are learning more about a Valley Youth church leader at the center of an international child sex crimes investigation.
46-year-old Casey Goslin was arrested last week. The case is not just about possession of child porn. Federal prosecutors also accuse him of trying to produce child porn. Fox 10's Nicole Christine joins us after speaking with a longtime neighbor of Goslin's. Nicole.
Yeah, good evening, John and Christina. This neighbor called Goslin a hermit and said that these charges that he is accused of are very disturbing, especially knowing how he was close to children on a regular basis.
We're trusting into him.
Tom Martinez says hearing his neighbor, Casey Goslin, is being federally charged for child sex crimes is hard to take in, especially knowing there are families with small kids that live nearby.
This guy lives right 2 houses from me, and those people, their kids are small. I mean, that's not good, and a lot of people are going to be shocked.
According to ICE, Goslin was arrested on October 16th after an investigation that began in January 2024. He's accused of using an online platform involving young victims provided by child sex traffickers in the Philippines. Goslin was a youth ministry leader involved with multiple Valley organizations, including the Grand Canyon Synod in Phoenix, part of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. A bio for Goslin on the Grand Canyon Synod website, since taken down, indicates Goslin has worked with kids for 3 decades. Retired FBI Special Agent Lance Lysing says child predators often seek roles where they can build trust with potential victims.
When predators leverage that position of trust to look for individuals who may be susceptible or groom them for potential predatory action later, that's what makes it so dangerous. And these individuals look for positions like that. That's what they search out and try to get.
The Grand Canyon Synod sharing a statement with Fox 10 today that Goslin has been suspended from all roles in the Synod and that, quote, the Grand Canyon Synod does not and cannot tolerate abuse, especially against children. ICE making a request for parents of children who may have come in contact with Goslin to contact law enforcement.
Which indicates that there are potentially a lot more victims out there, and they're looking to identify those, add charges, build the case, and make sure justice is served for all of those potential victims.
Ann Lysing says that it's very important for parents to have open conversations with their kids about good and bad acts to help prevent potential predators from preying on those kids. Now, as the story mentioned, if you know your child or another child that you know of may have had contact with Casey Goslin, you are asked to apply to the tip line. There's an online form through ICE, or you can contact your local law enforcement and make sure to be specific in the information that you share.
And this last guy was the worst of the worst. An international trafficker dealing with children from the United States to the Philippines. This guy, Casey Goslin. Phoenix is not playing games. Okay, here we go. Let's continue with this. February 2025, Scottsdale, Phoenix, and also the Arizona period, not just Phoenix. Scottsdale, a 3-week operation by the Scottsdale Police Human Exploitation and Trafficking, or the HEAT unit, resulting in 202 arrests, 53 felonies, 149 misdemeanors, targeting ex-buyers and traffickers. Once again, you do not want to be labeled as a ex-trafficker. Not want to be labeled as a human trafficker. Not want these charges on you, okay? Pay attention, take heed. Force, fraud, coercion, violence, and or the threats of violence against another person, especially if it's for the purposes of prostitution, could potentially get you a life sentence. Pay attention. Here we go. Video of the HEAT unit. Here we go.
Now you're under arrest for soliciting prostitution.
Paying attention? All right, here we go. February 2025, Regional Over 200 arrests were made during multi-agency stings in the Phoenix area, including a 3-day operation in Apache Junction that arrested 14 men, some who believed they were meeting a 14. You see the rest. So you are in Arizona, Phoenix, Scottsdale, anywhere around Arizona, and you plan on meeting up with a minor, then you're gonna get what you're looking for there, okay? Something that you deserve. Leave those children alone. Here we go. The Blade, the track, 27th Avenue in Phoenix remains a notorious central location for prostitution and trafficking. This is what they're saying, y'all. Pay attention. Targeting demand. Recent operations increasingly focus on arresting ex-buyers or Johns to disrupt the market, not just the trafficking individual. They say they're not just looking to check and see if an individual is trafficked out there. They're also looking to arrest the ex-buyers or the so-called Johns or the tricks. A lot of these operations are trick targeted, okay? Pay attention. And also so-called trafficker targeted. You do not want to be labeled as a trafficker. And you should know what that is, a trafficker is. We keep bringing it to you. Pay attention. Here we go. Trafficking profile. Traffickers often groom victims, frequently starting by acting as a boyfriend to young, often teenage girls. You don't want to be this guy, the trafficker. Okay? To groom a teenage underage minor. You don't want to do that. That can get you up to life in prison. Okay? International Star Media, the Gold Star Standard, at the Gold Star Standard. Reactions, reviews, and news you can use. Once again, I am your host, International Yada, for the records and the dollars. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos. And we will see you on the next one.